Afternoon everybody. As you can see, here we have the very latest Meccanoid, the G15 KS, kid size. That's the tall one. 4 foot, as you can probably see on the box there, approximately 122 centimetres. Not unlike the small one, which you may have already seen the video of. It will be in the same playlist by the time this gets all edited and uploaded. A lot of what I've said in there is the same for this. It's the same basic format, it's bigger, there's more servos, the same types of control, Bluetooth via your smartphones, iPhones, iPads and other tablets, programmable in several ways, and you can find out more about that because I'm not up to speed on it myself yet, having not even built the small one yet. Plenty of information via Meccano's official website and its own Meccanoid website. And then there you will download the different accents and languages for your model. As standard they come with an American accent apparently, although where I have heard these operate it's been very noisy and the accent doesn't seem very strong. Of course the one I saw may have already been programmed with an English accent, who knows. But yeah, same basic format but bigger, more servos, more parts of course. The box is a fair bit bigger than the small one and it's quite a bit heavier. This one comes with a charger and battery pack, and that's probably where most of the extra weight comes from, although these days chargers generally aren't that heavy. But of course it's bigger, so there's more parts, I dare say there's more nuts and bolts, and that's probably where the weight comes in as well. Obviously the majority of the construction is plastic, but it's no rubbish. It really looks well made going on the first set. And so you can find out more of the ins and outs of the set contents and all that in the first video, and I'd only be repeating myself more than I do normally if I did the same again, but we will have a look in a minute. And whilst we're on about the little one, let's compare the boxes. So folks, here we have both Meccano Megasystem Tech Meccanoid sets. On the left, the G15, which I've already done a video on, the set review. Apologise for not building any, but I will be starting on the large one later today. The G15, as you can see just from the box, the format's generally the same. The one is bigger than the other. Bigger, I suppose, generally means more money, and it does. But it also means more parts. So on the left, the G15, check the video for that. You can see the parts in there with a bit more detail. The set review as a whole, the packaging, what I think of that, you can see that already, and by the time you see this little snippet you'll be able to see both these in the same playlist. If you are going to buy the G15, steer clear of Asda Direct or Asda George as it's called now, or just george.com. The G15's 200 where it's 169.95 anywhere else I've seen it, so that's Argos and Maplins and Smythe's Toys and probably Amazon and probably several other places. On the right, the G15 KS, you can see the box is bigger. I haven't measured them, but I'd say it's about a third wider. It's certainly heavier. 349.95 or 99, that's everywhere I've seen that. Asda George are not, I don't think they've got any in stock yet, but that is the same price as everywhere else. So basically 350 and 170. But as I say, G15, don't go to george.com or Asda George, whatever they call it, because you'll do yourself out of just over 30 quid. Although there is free delivery to your local Asda store, but then again that's the same with Argos. You can get it if they haven't got it. You can order it in a couple of days maybe, but they don't seem to be stocking the KS yet. So there we are, both Meccanoids. The G15 KS is a fair bit heavier. Neither are going to break your back when you pick them up. Both boxes look the same construction. We'll have a look in a bit, see what they're like. Very good quality boxes. Should be able to store for some time anyway parts in the boxes. Now they're not going to be as good as a proper cabinet of course, or some small plastic drawers for the small parts of course. It is cardboard at the end of the day, but they are solidly made. Talking of prices and competitor hobbies if you like, perhaps the biggest competitor to any hobby these days is the games console. Your PlayStations, your Xboxes and whoever else makes them. Now the beauty of these Meccano Maker System sets, these Meccanoid sets, is that, yeah, they're both a bit, well, certainly the larger one, it's a fair amount of money, at $315. It's about the same, I mean, I haven't checked recently, but it's about the same as a games console, you know, around the 300 mark. I don't know how much they go for at this moment, and okay, you can get offers on stuff that's been out a long time, and I dare say these will come down. Meccano sets generally do. Different shops have different offers. This is unlikely to come down before Christmas, but the beauty of this is, yeah, it's a fair amount to to lay out on something, but so are the games consoles. And I suppose you could argue that it doesn't stop with the games console, because like most things there's accessories to add onto that, but before you get to the accessories there's the latest game that everybody wants, you know, so you're looking at 40-50 quid every time. So it doesn't stop there. Now, to be fair, it may not stop with this either, because Meccano being as it is, you'll go out, you'll buy this, you might go out and say, oh, I'll buy another set, especially if it's on offer. I've done that many times. You know, a 40 quid set's being sold for 17.5 quid, you're a fool not to buy one or two. Unless you've got a lot already, of course. So there are other things you can buy that's compatible with this, of course. So that's a bit of an anti-argument in a way. But the games console does compete with just about probably every hobby going. For perhaps not the person who does the hobby so much, or it is in some cases, but of course you've got the parents who, you know, the kid wants the latest, whatever it may be. But the benefit of this one is, of course, if you're just talking of sets compared to the games console itself, this is 350 quid, enough. But there's also the option of the smaller one, which is almost half. So yes, I dare say most people will want the larger one, but there is an option. Anyway, I think I've waffled too much already. So we'll get into the box. Just slide the sellotape at the top. This is the same as the small one. See if there's any more. Oh, there's a bit more. There we go. Flip open the top and pull open so that nothing falls out. Don't want to crease the box too much yet. That's not so bad. So pretty much as we had with a small G15. Same sort of construction of the box. Bag of leaflets and instructions. So for the moment we'll get rid of those. So what have we got then? Well, I suppose you could say more of the same. Simple as that. Perhaps a bit disconcerting about this bend here in the box partition here. That is fairly weighty. We've already had something drop out the box. Let's have a look at that. Oh, that's for the lights for these eyes. Having said that, that being compressed there stops these moving about a bit. So yeah, pretty much the same. More of, bigger box. A lot more parts in the bags. We've got more brackets, of course. Quite excessive there on the bags, but not too bad. I mean, this bag is absolutely full. Absolutely full of stuff. There is a lot of weight in there. Who says plastic is light, eh? What's in here? What we got in here? Wheels and motors. We've seen before. The main wheels. All these will have the little cardboard boxes for the servo motors, and we have 8. I know it's soft, but I like the fact that they're in little cardboard boxes, just like things used to be, I suppose. Well, sort of. The brain, and the charger, and the battery pack. Now, I'll just put the brain down for now. Actually, that's quite, by today's standards, that's quite a, well, not hefty, but a solid charger. And we have the battery pack here now to see what we've got. Nickel metal hydride batteries. 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 5, sorry, 5 AA sized 1800p. I presume that's milliamps. I don't know how long that's going to take to charge. That is also a bit of a thing really, actually, how long the batteries take to charge. But I dare say, looking at the fitting there, you could nip off to Maplin's and get yourself another pack similar to this to replace, so you can just swap them over. And I dare say you could either, if they don't, somebody doesn't already do one, make one up from parts at Maplin's. Battery box, connector, wires, to do your own with alkalines perhaps. So yeah, there's a little bit more weight there of course, because that isn't in the other set, but that's not too bad. What else? New tools of course, the new driver and the new spanner. Oh, shed loads of nuts and bolts, as you can see there, absolutely loads of them. And whilst we're on about shed loads of nuts and bolts, let's see how many we've got. Same type of instruction book as before. Usual layout as the previous one, which would be a no-brainer to expect anything any different really. Let's see how many we've got then. No standard nuts and bolts, but in total we have, for example, 12mm, there's 406 12mm bolts. A standard nut and bolt is 12p, sorry, at a dealer. There looks like some new, possibly countersunk bolts as well. I've not seen those before, 7mm. So that's interesting actually, because you might be able to use those where a 9.5mm is too much and a standard bolt is not enough. So there's another option there. Looking through the parts, there are some, obviously there's a lot of odd parts, we've already seen a lot of those, the mouldings, but there does seem to be a few different ones as well. This, there's one there, MO44, some sort of clip, bolt-on clip by the looks of it. But we'll look at those when we get to do the model itself. So I say there's no point going through all that book, we've done that sort of thing before, but just to check what we've got here, that's the battery charger. Warnings, I'll keep that for now. Another one for the battery charger. I can't see the one that says this product might have sharp edges, which I like to throw away, which I was going to do on camera again because it's satisfying. But same paperwork, or just about. Loads more parts, as you can see, these long brackets here. There's his eyes. Well, I suppose he could be a she. Do what you like, really. Battery box, the holder for the brain and the phone. So, yeah, no surprises, I suppose. We've got these are the holders for the motors. You might call them the flange plates, I suppose. So, yeah, as you probably expect, pretty much like the smaller set, but a lot more of it. So, there we are, folks. Both Meccanoid sets. Looking forward to it. Not in the same way as I would do a more traditional set, because it's that little bit. It's different, and I think that's the beauty of it in a way. It's a new slant on a very old hobby toy, and it's going to be a bit of fun, I think. I dare say those who are more into the software side of things will find more enjoyment out of it from that point of view. I'm not really into that. Well, not yet anyway. I mean, I may try it out, you know, if somebody's put some software up there that you can use easily. And of course, that is the thing with anything these days. If you can use something easily, it stands a lot more of a chance. But essentially, it's a Meccano set. It's a, you might say, a specialised Meccano set, or sets, as we have here. A bit like, say, the aircraft constructor sets of the 30s and the car constructor sets, you know. They're not Meccano sets, well, they weren't, per se, but it was to an extent compatible. I've seen several aircraft that have been used parts from those sets, even a motorbike that used a motorbike sidecar was using lights off one of the car constructor sets. So in the same vein, these are compatible, I suppose. Certainly the nuts and bolts are, but you probably knew all that before we got to this stage, didn't we? So a lot of parts for your money. I will do have a bit of research later on and see how much all those, or majority of those bolts cost. It seems to be that a lot of the money goes into the fixings, and people think, oh, it don't look a lot for the money. The thing is, everybody's circumstances are different. You've got people who've got lots of money somewhere, and people who've got no money somewhere else, and there's all points in between. The actual circumstances are different, so the value of money is different to others. So I suppose I should start getting into politics then, and all sorts of things like that. But if you put that to one side and just look at what you're getting for your money, without tossing up some basic parts like the nuts and bolts, you're getting a shade under twice as many parts for the large set as you are for the small set. Time will tell how well they sell, of course, and how people use them either as they are or parts for other models, and that'd be interesting to hear about. Talking of hearing about stuff, I've started up a forum. It's still new, it's quite little used, which wasn't a surprise really, Meccano being quite a small hobby these days. It's called MeccanoZone.com, and we're not into it. It's not a sort of forum for all the nitty little gritty details of historical facts about Meccano sets and the changes that happen, say, one year against the other, and all that sort of thing, and nothing against that, because it is interesting. If you've got a set and you want to compare the differences, so, you know, some of these sets are, well, if you're very lucky, some of these sets are over 100 years old now. I haven't got nothing that old, but I've certainly got stuff that's knocking off for 80 or around that time. Not much, and not much of it in good condition, but it's nice to find out. You know, you'll pick up a part, so, oh, was that different to the other one? But it looks essentially the same, a few differences. So by all means, anybody can talk about anything Meccano they want on the forum. There is a Facebook page as well, but it's just about really enjoying Meccano for what it is and what you as a person do with it, and enjoy it, or even use it to do things. There's been many people in the past use Meccano as a model for something that goes on to create. I'm not sure about this, but I read something the other day. Alec Isigonis used it in the creation, or to create, the Mini. I'm not sure how true that is, but you get the type of thing I mean. People take Meccano, do something to try their ideas out, and maybe even take it a little bit further. To do something to make from scratch for the real world. So anything really, we don't mind. If it's Meccano, do what you like and talk about it. MeccanoZone.com. There's also a Facebook page. So basically, I'll put some links in the description. But we just want to enjoy and promote the hobby really. And to be honest, it's a hobby that seems to be contracting very fast at the moment. Not being rude, but the majority of people who still use Meccano, traditional Meccano, is, well, I'll be polite and say, knocking on a bit. Happens to everybody I know. So let's get some new blood in and let's enjoy the hobby. So you can tell us what you've done on MeccanoZone.com, on the forum, even on comments on this Facebook and YouTube. There's a multitude of places to go, of course, these days on the internet for all sorts of things, including Meccano. So, you know, by all means, come along. It's free to join. Whilst I am plugging things, folks, here's another one for you. The Telford and Ironbridge Meccano Society have their November meeting coming up on Saturday the 7th of November at the Ingenuity Museum, Coach Road, Coalbrookdale, Ironbridge, Shropshire. It's from about 10 in the morning till 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We only have a few meetings a year, so we're a bit late really, because the main day of the Battle of Britain is coming up actually as I speak, September the 15th, but as I say, we only have a few metres a year. So what we are doing on the 7th of November, we're trying to get as many Meccano Spitfires and Hurricanes together in one place at any one time. Not that there's any world record attempt or anything like that, but it could be nice. There has been a Meccano Spitfire set going round. I don't make it anymore, but it's been in several guises like Marks and Spencer's boxes and end of the World War II celebration box, which was also a Marks and Spencer box, and in an ordinary Meccano box, but essentially it's the same model. It's not an easy model to make, it's a little bit fiddly, as I'm finding out at the moment because I'm building my second one. But whether it's the set model or your own creation, Spitfire or Hurricane, any size, bring it along. We just want to try and get, as a little add-on to the meeting, which is really just a small show, open to the public of course. I'll put some links in the description, but we're just trying to get as many as we can together to commemorate Battle of Britain 75. Right, enough plugs, enough waffling. I better get on with building one of these sets. Bye for now.